so.
Probably Obama's better for Japan than Romney, I would guess. But you never know. Hopefully. It was kind of expected. I expected him to win, actually. Because usually the incumbent, the person who is already president, they have a very, very kind of, it's just very common they're elected again, second time. Especially if that year, the election year, the economy starts to get better. And this year, like the end of 2012, the economy is starting to rise up, get a little better. Most people think, let's just stay with this person, and then maybe get better, better, better. They don't want to change to some new one. So, yeah, I thought so. I expected maybe we went. So, anyway, there was another kind of interesting story, though, talking a little bit about Washington and Colorado. Did you hear about Washington and Colorado? Oh, so Washington and Colorado, those are two... Oh, I don't have some equipment that I need. I need a Wi-Fi router to connect. Alright, later. No iPad right now. Washington and Colorado, both of those states, they legalized marijuana. So now, well, not immediately, but probably by next year, it will be legal to buy and sell and use marijuana.
Wow.
Like just on the street, like cigarettes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, amazing. So this is, I mean, this isn't a really, really big surprise. Colorado, Washington, Oregon, California, a lot of states have been campaigning to legalize. And there's a lot of arguments for legalizing. For example, for health, many doctors and scientists think it's probably healthier than alcohol or cigarettes. And, you know, there's just a lot of possible good reasons to legalize. But a little, yeah, surprise. So, if you go to America, if you go to Washington, if you go to Colorado, would you try?
No.
Would you be interested? No.
No.
Why not?
Wow.
But do you drink alcohol?
No.
No.
Yes.
Okay. Because of health reasons?
Yes.
Okay, so alright. If you don't drink alcohol, then I think, yeah, maybe definitely not marijuana. But many people who drink alcohol also have the same reaction. They say, alcohol's fine, alcohol's okay, but they think marijuana, oh my god, terrible. But I think maybe slowly the perception is changing. People having different opinions, so. Okay, so no. Maybe?
On time?
Maybe, alright. What do you think? You said?
I'm interested.
Okay, possibly. How many? No.
One time.
Maybe try once, yeah. Just to try, yeah. Yeah, I've had quite a few students here at Akane when we've talked about similar issues that say in Japan they never try because it's considered really, I mean the police and the law is very, very strict, very dangerous. But they told me when they go traveling, when they go to America or when they go to Europe, often they would try. So we'll see what happens. Alright, well today we have the test, but the test is going to be maybe the second hour, maybe near the end of the class. So I think maybe we can do some warm-up. I think maybe just fixate on the textbook for today. Last time we got to, I think we got to chapter 2, part B. Is that right? Yeah, I think that was it. So chapter 2, part B is talking about this woman, and her name is Angela. And the last time we did, I think we did section A, which was talking about if you could spend a year working or studying in another country, which country would you choose and why? What would you like to do there? What problems do you think you might have? So we've already finished that. And so now we're going to be taking a look at the listening section, which we can't do until I go to the office. So I'd like you to do just a quick section down below, section 2, the grammar section. And then I'll go get the Wi-Fi. Section 2 says present perfect continuous with for and since. So Now, for is talking about a length of time. So, I have been living in Japan for 9 years. I've been working in Atelier Francais for 8 years. I've been playing basketball for 34 years, something like that. So anytime you have the word for, you're going to be using a length of time. It can be 1 minute, 5 minutes, a year, 20 years, it doesn't matter. But if you use since, you're going to use just one starting date. So I've been living in Japan for 8 years. I've been living in Japan since 2004. Since 2005. We're starting with one date, one time. That's it. So that's the basic idea, the basic difference. So we're going to do the listening, but first of all, I'd like you to see if you can fill in section 2A. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. How long have you been here? I've been, and since I was a child. What have you been here since you arrived? I've been some art classes. I've been for about 3 months now. Some of these you can guess, and some of these you can just have to wait for the listening. So just read the sentences very carefully, and then also read sentences in section 1C. So there's 7 questions talking about her in Ecuador. So just quickly preview this section. Give me 1 minute, I'll be right back, and then we can do the listening section. Sorry, I forgot the Wi-Fi. Be right back. Yeah, the Wi-Fi router that I use to connect the iPad and the TV, I have to take it to my high school every day. Back. Because I don't know why, only one Wi-Fi router works properly. I've tried 3 or 4. I've tried one from Buffalo, tried one from Apple, I tried one from Panasonic, only Cisco. This is the only company that works really well, this product. I don't know why. It's really strange. Even the Apple Wi-Fi router, which should be perfect, because Apple, middle should be Apple, but okay, so let's see, is it going to start? Yeah. Okay, so this is 2.6. So first task is just to answer these 7 questions. So why did she choose Ecuador? Why did she want to take a year off? Where is Angela taking art classes? What's the most difficult thing for Angela in Spanish? How do the students in her art classes feel about having a foreigner in the class? What does Angela like about teaching English? And what does she like most about living in Ecuador? Okay, so let's try this section. 2.6. I don't know what the track number is.
Listening. 2.2.
2.
Listening. 2.7.
Okay, 1.
Listening. 2.6.
Okay.
So, how long have you been living here?
For about 6 months now.
Why did you choose Ecuador?
Because I have always been interested in the culture and language of Latin America.
Why did you want to take a year off?
Basically, I wanted a break from teaching. I love teaching children, but I needed a change. Also, I've been drawing and painting since I was a child, and I took art classes in college. I've always wanted an opportunity to study the art of the Andean countries, such as Peru and Ecuador.
What have you been doing here since you arrived?
Well, I've been taking some art classes at the university and getting to know some of the local artists. Luckily, many of them speak a little English, as I don't know much Spanish yet. But I am learning the language as quickly as I can.
Is Spanish a difficult language to learn?
Not really. A lot of words are similar in English and Spanish.
Oh.
Listening is probably the most difficult thing for me. I often have to ask people to repeat things more slowly.
Are the other students in your classes helpful when you don't understand something?
Yes, very. I think they're happy to find that a foreigner loves the Ecuadorian culture and wants to learn about it.
You also teach English?
I've been teaching for about 3 months now. It's a great way to meet people and, of course, earn a little money to pay for my classes.
What's the best thing about living in Ecuador so far?
The people. The hospitality of the people here is absolutely amazing.
Okay, so we've just listened just the one time. Can you answer those 7 questions? Do you feel confident? Okay, that's a good answer. Okay, let's try that again then, one more time, and then just quickly check.
2.6. So, how long have you been living here?
For about 6 months now.
Why did you choose Ecuador?
Because I have always been interested in the culture and language of Latin America.
Why did you want to take a year off?
Basically, I wanted a break from teaching. I love teaching children, but I needed a change. Also, I've been drawing and painting since I was a child, and I took art classes in college. I've always wanted an opportunity to study the art of the Andean countries, such as Peru and Ecuador.
What have you been doing here since you arrived?
Well, I've been taking some art classes at the university and getting to know some of the local artists. Luckily, many of them speak a little English, as I don't know much Spanish yet. But I am learning the language as quickly as I can.
Is Spanish a difficult language to learn?
Not really. A lot of words are similar in English and Spanish. Listening is probably the most difficult thing for me. I often have to ask people to repeat things more slowly.
Are the other students in your classes helpful when you don't understand something?
Yes, very. I think they're happy to find that a foreigner loves the Ecuadorian culture and wants to learn about it.
You also teach English?
I've been teaching for about 3 months now. It's a great way to meet people and, of course, earn a little money to pay for my classes.
What's the best thing about living in Ecuador so far?
The people. The hospitality of the people here is absolutely amazing.
Alright, so can you try to answer these questions just basically, well, maybe just together actually this first time. So, first question, why did she choose Ecuador? Let's go. What did she give a reason why?
She is interested in culture and languages.
Yeah, so she mentioned like Latin American countries and so on. So yeah, she's been interested in that kind of culture. Alright, Connie, number 2. So why did she want to take a year off?
She wants to teach children.
No. Actually, she doesn't want to teach children. She wants a break. She says she loves teaching children, but she needs some time off. She wants some time away from children. So maybe that's her normal job. So she wants a break, some relaxation, follow her own kind of dreams, study the art. Okay, but yeah, children. She talked about children, but not wants to be with children. She wants to escape from children. Alright, Yuta, how about number 3?
In college.
Yeah, she's at the university, local university. Alright, Keigo, number 4. What's the hardest thing for her about Spanish?
The most difficult thing is listening.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, she says listening is the hardest thing for her. What about you? What's the hardest thing for English?
English.
Yeah, speaking, listening, grammar, vocabulary. What's the hardest for you?
Listening.
Listening to? Okay, so maybe a similar situation. Alright, so that's not such goal. What about 6? So
Number
what is,
5?
or 5, sorry. So how do the students in our art classes feel about having a foreigner?
Well, the students are very happy to have Angela, because Angela shows much interest in their culture.
Yeah, so I think everybody likes outside people to be interested in their life or their culture or something. So yeah, so they like it a lot. What does Angela like about teaching English? Let's go, did you catch? Yeah, so her main job is, or her main activity is learning art, but she also teaches English in Ecuador. Yeah, she can earn some money, and it's kind of like a social kind of thing. She gets to meet a lot of new people, things like that. Alright, Carly, last one. What does she like about living in Ecuador the best? What's the best part for her?
People, they have hospitality.
Yeah, just really kind, very giving, very good hospitality. So she says that's the best part. Alright, well let's take a look at the grammar then. Section 2, present perfect continuous, for and since. So 2.7, just listen and fill in the missing words. Let's try.
Listening. 2.7. 1. So, how long have you been living here? 2.
Also, I've been drawing and painting since I was a child, and I took art classes in college.
3. What have you been doing since you arrived? 4.
Well, I've been taking some art classes at the university and getting to know some of the local artists.
5.
I've been teaching for about 3 months now.
Okay. Alright, so the first one, how long have you been living here? Number 2, I've been drawing and painting since I was a child. 3, what have you been doing here since you arrived? 4, I've been taking some art classes. And then finally 5, I've been teaching for about 3 months now. Alright, now, in section B, it has some simple questions, maybe simple. It says, number 1, are the verbs action or non-action verbs? Action or non-action? So action kind of implies, activity, doing something, moving, and so on. So if you're taking a class, yeah, it kind of means you have to go out of your home, you have to go to a classroom, you have to do things with students, and that's an action verb. Living would also be considered an action verb. But something like knowing, like you don't say, I'm knowing the answer, or I'm knowing lots of English. You don't use it with ing, you just say, I know. I know the answer, I know English, I know her name. So a verb like know is called a non-action verb, or it's called a stative verb. And so with that kind of verb, you don't really use the ing form. Same thing with love. You don't say, I'm loving you. You say, I love you. It's a situation, it's a state. Now, McDonald's actually changed it, and they said, I'm loving it. But that's clever, that's brilliant, because it's bad grammar, so people remember it. They know it's something strange, but they remember it easier. But actually, it's bad grammar. You shouldn't say that. So you don't say, I'm loving traveling. You say, I love traveling, that kind of thing. So love, know, and things like that. Those are stative verbs. Okay, but she said, living and painting and doing and taking, all of these are action verbs. All of these are action. Number 2, do they refer to single actions or continuous, repeated actions? Continuous, repeated. I've been painting since I was 5. That means I've been painting many, many times. A lot of times, repeated times. And then finally, do they refer to a completed action or to one that is still happening? It's happening. It's continuing. It's continuing going into the future. So anyway, so these are action. We're looking at actions here. Now, go to the next page. Let's take a look at page 25. We have a pronunciation section, which I usually hate pronunciation sections, especially when it's about stress, like the stress of a word. I always make mistakes, I'm sorry. I don't know why, maybe it's only me. But it says an important part of clear communication in English is stressing the words in a sentence that carry the information and not stressing the other ones. Okay, what does that mean? Alright, the dictation, it says, so we have dictation, that's good, little practice. It says, listen to 5 sentences, write them down, or try to write down the stressed words, look at the words and try to remember the whole sentence. Then listen again, complete the sentences. Okay, so it's a little strange task, but it says the first time you listen, don't write the entire sentence, only write the stressed words. And then listen again and try to write the entire sentence. So maybe I've been living in Tokyo for 5 years. So maybe living and 5, that would be your stress. That's like the most important information. So that kind of thing. So I am very bad at this kind of task. I'll let you know. So we'll see. We'll see if you can do better than me, maybe. All right, let's try.
Listening, 2.8. 1,
I've been studying English for 6 years.
2. Have they been living in Korea for a long time? 3.
How long has your brother been working for that company?
4.
How long have you been teaching Spanish?
5.
My husband hasn't been sleeping very well recently.
Listening,
Okay, so that was the 5. Stressed words. Do you have an idea?
Number 1,
Okay, yeah. What would be the stress?
study.
Okay. Anything else?
English.
Okay, yeah. So
6.
I've been studying English. I've been studying English for 6 years.
listening,
Yeah, so probably study English years. Or no, the amount of time. The amount of time. Alright, number 2.
Korea.
Korea. Okay, you got Korea. Okay. Anything else?
Long time.
Long time. So Korea.
Korea. Lived in.
Number 3.
How long?
How long? How long?
How long? How long?
I don't remember actually. Let's see.
listening,
Let's see.
2.6.
6. No.
So, listening, 2.8. 1,
I've been studying English for 6 years.
2. Have they been living in Korea for a long time?
Okay, so have they been living in Korea a long time? Have they been living in Korea a long time?
3.
How long has your brother been working for that company?
4.
How long have you been teaching Spanish?
5.
My husband hasn't been sleeping very well recently.
Okay, so number 3, how long has your brother been working for that company? How long has your brother been working for that company? 4, how long have you been teaching Spanish? My husband hasn't been sleeping very well recently. Okay, I'm guessing. I'm thinking those were the main ones. Alright, so I hate those. I'm sorry, I really do. Let's take a look at section 2.9. This one just says listen, copy the rhythm. So copy the rhythm, meaning try to say it with the same rhythm. So I've been living here for 2 years. I've been living here for 2 years. Probably they say it in that way.
Listening, 2.9. 1,
I've been living here for 2 years.
I've been living here for 2 years.
2. How long have you been learning English?
How long have you been learning English?
3.
She's been working in Italy since October.
She's been working in Italy since October.
4. How long have you been waiting?
How long have you been waiting?
5.
It's been raining all night.
It's been raining all night. Last one.
6. We've been looking for an apartment for ages.
We've been looking for an apartment for ages. Okay. Native speakers, we really don't think about stress very much. We just do it. But, I don't know. I think it's probably a mistake to think about stress too much. Your best bet is to simply get used to the way listening sounds for you, like through lots of listening tapes and news programs, things like that, and just try to copy it, just try to emulate it. If you start trying to think about it and plan stress in your head before you say it, it usually won't make much sense. It won't work very well. So just do as much listening as you can, try to emulate or copy the patterns. That's the best advice I can think of. Okay, well let's do a speaking section. Speaking section has what? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have kind of 9 different categories. And then we want to use the present perfect continuous. So it says, look at the circles, write something in as many as you can. So a sport you play regularly or a kind of exercise you do regularly. Alright, for me, that would be cycling. I cycle 6 days a week, sometimes 7, so that would be cycling. Something you're learning to do. I'm learning to do something. What am I doing? I'm learning to do video editing, I guess. A friend you know very well. Okay, best friend, his name is Andrew. Magazine or newspaper read regularly. That would be maybe Reuters. Probably. I read Reuters just about every day. Restaurant you often go to, that would be... Restaurant I go to often? There's a cafe restaurant in Marunouchi that I go to quite a bit, almost every week I guess. A thing you have that is very important to you. That would be my iPad. It's very important to me. A club or organization that you're a member of. I'm a member of Minato Sports Center near Tamachi Station. But that's all. A car. The make of the car you drive. Okay, I don't actually drive a car. Now, the make means the brand. The brand of the car. So it's a Toyota Celica. It's a Nissan Fairlady Z. It's a Porsche Carrera. That's called the make. I don't drive a car. So the bicycle that I ride is called a Giant Defy. Giant Defy 3 is the name of my bicycle. And then the place where you live would be, I guess, Minatoku, or Mita, or Tamachi, or Tokyo, Japan, something like that. So for each of these boxes, take a minute, see if you can write at least one quick example, and then with your partner, show them your examples. They should try to ask you questions with the present continuous. So for example, I say cycling. The partner should ask, how long have you been cycling? I've been cycling about 3 years, and then try to expand the conversation. So where do you cycle? How often do you cycle? Why do you like cycling? Try to expand it with a few extra questions. So try to do as many as you can for each of these categories, and then with your partner, maybe about 10 minutes, if you can do about a 10-minute conversation. So yeah, just take a minute, take a little bit of time, and then we'll divide up into partners, and then check in and see how we do. Ready? Finished? What are you thinking? It's finished. Okay, you don't have to fill in every single spot. It's not necessary. Just enough to kind of keep you going for about 5-10 minutes anyway. So let's go ahead and start through this. And remember, try to expand it as much as you can. I mean, if you can focus on one for 3-4 minutes, that's great. And then move on to a different one. Yeah, it's no problem at all. All right. So I guess Sachiko, I guess that's all. You guys need to move around a little bit to have some more access. So maybe next week, try to shuffle yourselves a little bit. All right. So anyway, MTC. That's me, I guess. So, all right. So please begin, and then 5 minutes, 10 minutes at least. Have you read page 26? No.
No.
Okay. So. Well, yeah, I didn't want you to read it during the break. I was just wondering if you had read it before. All right. Well, it's talking about going on vacations and a vacation that kind of opens up your eyes. It makes you think about life in a different way. Maybe you change your job or move to a new place or something like that. So, section A says, "Can you think?" Oh.
Wow.
Did it die?
Die.
Suicide. Alright, so can you think of a vacation that could change your life for the better? So one way a vacation could change your life for the better. Have you ever been on a vacation that really changed you in some way? No. I mean, it was relaxing. I didn't want to go back to work. I mean, there's been something like that, but nothing like a life-changing experience. I don't think I've had that before. Africa was pretty big. It was really different. I was in Africa for about a month. But it's not life-changing, exactly. It was just really interesting experience. So maybe for me I haven't. But for these two women, for Victoria Smith and for Sally Gook, really big change from them. So it says, you're going to read an article about two people whose lives were changed by a vacation. Work in pairs. A reads Victoria, B reads Sally, and then try to explain about the story. I don't really want to read them separately. I want to just go through it together. So it was just a vacation, but it changed my life. So it says, vacations can be good for your health. You lie on a beach, relax, tensions disappear, but sometimes a vacation can change your life completely, which is what happened 2 years ago to Victoria Smith and Sally Gook. So Victoria Smith, 6 years ago, was working as a manager at a chain store. Then she went on vacation to Borneo. Borneo? Where's Borneo? Do you know?
Indonesia?
It's Indonesia. Is it a separate island or is it?
Borneo?
So, Borneo. I've heard the name, but I don't remember ever seeing it before.
Borneo?
Yeah.
Indonesia.
Is it so? It's Indonesia. Yeah. All right. So let's take a little more time then. So she went to Borneo. It was a working vacation. Okay. So working vacation, does that make sense? It seems like if you go on vacation, there should be no work. But I've heard that like a working vacation or a working holiday, it's a little bit strange for me. But it was a working vacation, says Victoria, where you could study orangutans in the wild. I've always been interested in apes, so I thought it would be fun. The vacation was wonderful, and when Victoria came home, she found it difficult to return to her old life. Suddenly, the problems in the store just seemed so trivial. Although everybody told her she was insane, she decided to go back to college and study biology. 4 years later, she became a chimpanzee keeper. For the last 2 years, Victoria has been working at Monkey World, a center that takes care of apes that have been mistreated. Many have been rescued from laboratories and circuses all over the world. She works long hours and the pay isn't very good, but she loves it. Apes are like a big family, each with their own personality. I'm really happy now. Since I started working here, I feel that I've been doing something important with my life. not just wasting it. Important, not just wasting my life. Okay, so let's take a look at the vocabulary in this. The first one is apes. Have you heard this word before? Do you know this? Apes, another word would be maybe primates. It's monkey species. So this would be gorillas and chimpanzees and all of these kinds of animals. These are called apes. Do you know the word trivial? So she said the problems in the store seem so trivial. So trivial basically means unimportant. So first definition, it says of little importance or trifling, frivolous. It just means the situation doesn't seem to be important in any way. For synonyms, unimportant is the first. Then insignificant, incidental, minor, petty, and so on. So after her vacation, she went back to work, and all of the little problems with her coworkers or whatever, she thought, this is nothing. This is not life. Who cares? I want to go back. I want to do this kind of job. So she said it was very trivial.
So trivial is adjective. But trivia,
yeah, like a trivial problem.
Trivia is noun. For example, trivia.
Trivia is a little different. Trivia is more like, if you hear trivia these days, it usually means, well, okay, if you're watching a TV show or listening to a radio and you hear the word trivia, most of the time it means kind of facts that maybe you use on a game show. Like, what's the longest river in the world? You know, how far is it to China? Like, these kind of facts. What's the population of Spain? That's called trivia. So, a lot of people use those kind of facts, and then they make game shows, like knowledge game shows. But the actual meaning just means unimportant details. So, it's just like kind of basic facts, but they're not important facts. They're just things that people maybe know about. So that's called trivia. So yeah, trivia is the noun, trivial would be the adjective. Alright, how about insane? So it says everybody told her she was insane.
Crazy?
Crazy, yeah. Crazy, mentally ill, not thinking normally, that kind of thing. Insane. Keeper? A chimpanzee keeper.
Trainer?
Not quite a trainer. More like someone who just takes care of. So, for a few different animals, it's more common for a couple different types of animals. So, to me, a chimpanzee keeper kind of sounds like maybe someone who works for a zoo and then takes care of this particular animal. Beekeeper is very common. So, for example, you know, like honeybee, if you take care of large amounts of honeybees, you say you're a beekeeper. And possibly other animals as well. Maybe in a zoo, maybe one person is in charge of the lions and the tigers. You say they are the cat keeper, maybe. So it kind of just means that kind of caretaker. So a keeper here would be maybe, yeah, number 2. So an attendant in charge of animals in captivity. So if the animals are out in the wild, even if it's in a very large, like national park, you're not really called a keeper. But if they're inside a zoo, inside a building, you're taking care of them. You'd say a keeper. So that's the next one. Last vocabulary, mistreated. So treat on its own doesn't really have positive or negative. It just means that someone behaves towards you in some way. So good treatment or bad treatment. But mistreatment always means bad treatment. It means someone hits you or hurts you or yells at you. You could even say you're mistreating a device. Let's say maybe you should be kind of gentle to your computer or your car. You should kind of, when you put it down nicely, things like that. But if you have maybe a child or kid, they don't care. Maybe they, drop their keys, they, throw it on the floor. You say you're mistreating the objects. So you're maybe damaging or hurting those kind of things. So what she does is, she works for an organization that helps apes who have been mistreated. So either in research laboratories or in zoos or other kinds of situations, if the apes or the monkeys have been mistreated, then her group tries to help those monkeys, take care of them, maybe eventually let them go back into the wild. So this is kind of her job. Alright, the next woman is Sally Gook. So it says, Sally Gook wakes up every morning to a deep blue sky and a blazing sun. For the last 2 years, she's been living on the tiny Greek island of Lipsi, which is only 16 square kilometers in size and has a population of just 650. But until a few years ago, she lived in London. I was working for a large financial company, services company, and had a good social life and made a lot of money. But I had to get up very early every morning, often in horrible weather, and get a train and the tube to work. But then, one day, she and a friend decided they needed a relaxing vacation, and they came to Lipsi. I loved it. The people, the mountains, the sun, the delicious food. Suddenly I knew there was a different life waiting for me here. A few months later, she applied for a job at the travel company that had organized her vacation. Since then, she has been living on Lipsi and working as a tourist guide. Her boyfriend, who is Greek, is a farmer. Sally said, I've only been back to London once, and I can't imagine ever living there again. Alright, so vocabulary, blazing. Have you heard this before? Blazing? Can you give me a synonym or a definition?
Like burning fire?
Yeah, blazing is almost always talking about heat and fire and so on. So if you have in your house like a fireplace, you say, the fireplace, it's blazing, very kind of strong fire. Same thing with maybe a house. If a house catches on fire, you say it's blazing. Forest fire, blazing forest fire. It just kind of means a strong, intense fire. So if you're maybe in, a northern country, yeah, it's sunny, it's bright sunshine, but it's not really that really strong, intense sunshine. If you're near the equator, or if you're in one of these kind of Greek islands, maybe the sun feels much, much hotter, much stronger. Usually that would be a bad thing. Blazing doesn't sound very positive. It sounds kind of like too hot, too much. But for her, I guess that's good, that's positive. She likes the heat, she likes the sky. But usually that's a negative description. Tiny just means very small. The tube, do you understand the tube?
Subway in London?
Yeah, it's a subway system. Now, a tube would describe something like toothpaste. You'd say, a tube of toothpaste. But the tube is pretty much always talking about subway system in London, if you hear the tube. Delicious just means very, very nice food, very nice flavor. And then applied for would be she tried to get a job, usually by writing out application. You apply for a job. Alright, which person do you think has the better life now? Yuta, if you had to choose one of these people's lives, which one would you choose?
I choose Sally.
Yeah? Why? You want a Greek boyfriend?
No, but I want Greek girlfriend.
Okay. Have you been to Greece before?
Yes.
Where did you go?
I've been to Athens and Mykonos Island.
And? You liked it a lot?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I went to Crete. And it was, Crete was really nice. It was beautiful. Great food. A little bit too, what can I say? A little bit too barren for me. But yeah, it was nice. So Crete is this bigger island. So it's Greece, but I went here to the bottom part, to the capital city called Heraklion, and then we rented a car and we drove all the way from this side and then all the way to the other side. It's not that big. It's not that big of an island. But yeah, the food, the people, the ocean, it was nice. It was really beautiful. So I don't know if I want to live there, permanently. Probably not, but it was good. Really good experience. Alright, well, imagine that you could completely change your life. You could quit your job, move to a new country, and just like this new place, this new vacation, this new kind of life. What would you like to do? What do you think would be a good place for you? Personally, for me, if I wasn't married, if I was single, I would love to go to a place like this. I would love to go, I love mountains, so I would love to go maybe the Canadian Rockies, or maybe something like the Colorado Rockies or something. I'd like to maybe go back to school and be a ranger, like a park ranger, take care of the mountains and things like that, and just live in the mountains, live in nature for 5 years or 10 years. I think every time I'm hiking or camping or near mountains, I feel very peaceful. I feel like this is where I should be. So I'm used to Tokyo now. I'm really used to living here. I don't feel pain living here. When I first moved here, it was kind of painful. Surrounded by all these buildings and actually, I've been inside buildings for almost 1 year. I think 2012, I went to Kamakura once. That's it. And I've been to Kawasaki like 2 or 3 times to go to Costco. That's it. So basically, I've been inside the Yamanote line for almost 1 year. And kind of, it doesn't bother me too much right now. I'm kind of busy, I'm kind of doing a lot of things, so I don't think about it too much. But when I first came here, it was torture. I couldn't see far distances, I didn't see mountains, I didn't see beautiful stars in the sky. It was really difficult for me. So I think my best place would be in nature with mountains. I think that would be kind of like my ideal place. But my wife loves cities, I have kids, I need schools, I can't do that. If I was single, I would love to go back to America or back to Canada, maybe go back to school, be a park ranger. I think maybe that would be really good for me. So for you, if you could imagine some kind of just reinvention of your life, put yourself in a totally different situation, totally different job or whatever, what would you do? Where would you go? Try to imagine. So don't stop yourself by thinking about families and things like that. You are only thinking about your best place at this moment. Where would you go? What would you do? And so on. So let's actually work on this for 5 minutes or so. Let's work with a new person. So I guess. Perfect. If you can work with me, let's go. And then Keigo, let's go in the corner. Just for a couple minutes. Where would you like to go? What would you like to do? Put yourself in this situation.
Where do you want to go?
Yeah, maybe the same. Okay, so we're talking about food in Russia.
Borscht too. It's really nice, delicious.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, Zhiroshki as well. It's kind of Russian too.
Borscht.
Alright, so really quick. So I want to go to mountains. That's maybe my peaceful place. Where did you want to go? You wanted to go traveling, and but not new life. Just travel, come back to old life. All right, Kali, what would you think?
I want to go to Switzerland and work as a farmer.
In Switzerland.
In Switzerland, countryside.
What kind of farmer?
Milk.
Oh, so doing milk, so making cheese, Swiss cheese and chocolate, milk chocolate. Yeah. All right. What do you think? You tell me, where would you go?
I like to go Italy and go museums every day.
Oh, that is culture. Lots and lots of culture. Yeah. So where would you start? What city?
Rome or Firenze.
Yeah. Sounds good. What do you think? What you do?
Same place. I want to go to the European countries, especially Italy, and I want to work the keeper architecture, or painting, or something.
Okay, so you want to be like, it's not a keeper, it's a different word. I forget the name right now. But yeah, if you're maybe a custodian, maybe custodian is the right word. Like if you're taking care of a museum or taking care of an art gallery or something like that, I think maybe it's custodian is the correct word. Let me see if I can find it really quick. So custodian. So custodian is kind of. That's strange. Alright, well it says a person who has care, especially of some public building. So it's not quite the word I'm looking for, I think. What else? So maybe conservator or curator would be more like art. You take care of paintings. So maybe a conservator is really close. What does it say for this? So conservator, let's look for a definition for conservator. So pretty similar, yeah. Okay, in Italy or in France, somewhere like that. What do you think? What would you do?
Traveling in Canada.
Yeah.
You know,
skiing.
Yeah, and I want to get away from stress and daily routine.
Yeah.
There is a Lake Louise and Rocky Mountain. It's so relaxing and peaceful.
Jasper.
Edmonton.
I love the Canadian Rockies. Like Jasper National Park or Glacier National Park.
Yeah.
Yep, that's my home. That should be my home. All right. Well, here's the dictation, and the dictation is going to be about the same length. It'll take about 10 minutes, 12 minutes to complete, and yeah, hopefully you find it not too stressful. So the same situation as before. You'll have about 1 minute, so they'll read the instructions, and then you'll have about 1 minute to look over the paper and just kind of get familiar with the structure of the conversation.
Level 5, Winter, 98.